sure you meet all your deadlines for invest. An evaluation system that shows you above the rest. Invest, invest. Invest, invest. You got SLOs and SGPs. Documenting, don't miss a beat. Invest, invest. Invest, invest.
I'm Sherry Battelle, Director of Invest, and I have a few updates for the SLOs.
To create a roster for your SLO, log into Battelle for Kids and go to Grow. Once you launch Grow, look for the second blue line that says My Rosters. Follow it to the right, click the Action button, and select Add Class. The window that opens is going to ask you questions that will help you set up your class roster. First is Content Area. In this case, I'm going to select Non-Instructional. Next is Core Subject. Again, I pull down from the list and I'm going to set up Skill Specialist. Then I select a course. For Skill Specialist, there's only one course. For some of the instructional areas, there might be more than one course and you need to pull down through the menu to select the proper one. Next, select Class Schedule. For most of you, it will be a full year schedule. Then select Scoring. Scoring can be numeric, alpha A to Z, or no yes. I'll go through numeric first. Then finally select a plan and look for the name of your SLO. I do have to give this roster a name, and so I will call it, in this case, Juarez SLO Roster, and select Add. Create a roster by doing a search in 3 or 4 different ways. One is by name, so I can look for the name of a student that's in my class. I can also search by campus. I can also do a search for staff members by selecting the grade level. So if I come over here where it says All, click, and go all the way to the bottom, I see a staff option. If I select staff and do my search, it brings up staff members instead of students. Now is where we want to go through and add a baseline and growth target score. In this case, I've selected a numeric scoring option, so I need to add a max score. In this case, I'll say 100. And then I need to select a baseline and growth target for my students. If my students haven't taken a pretest, the baseline is likely to be 0. So I can put 0 in the Set Values box at the top, and when I hit Return, it will put that value in for every student. In this case, I'll say that my growth target is 80, and I'll do the same. Now, I have some other options here if my scoring is numeric. I can go through and actually let Battelle for Kids calculate some of my scores. So for example, let's say that I have students who have taken a pretest and I have different scores and I want them to get halfway to 100 as their target. If I go to the Actions button, I can select different options here. I can do the score by amount, I can do the score by percent, or I can close the gap by half. So if I select one of these options, in this case, I'll select Grow Score by Percent. I'll add the percent I want this to grow by. So I'll say I want all my students to improve their score by 50%. I click Save, and it automatically calculates what 50% growth would be. Once I have the target and the baseline set, I hit Submit, and that sends my roster off for approval.